Yellowjackets has become the most buzzed about show on TV. But is it worth the hype? Spoiler alert, yes. Kristen here, and we're talking about Showtime's dark new drama, Yellowjackets. The series follows two different narratives. The first in the 90s, where a team of talented high school girl soccer players survive a plane crash in the deep Ontario wilderness and descend into cannibalistic clans. And then, 25 years later in modern day, as their adult counterparts deal with the truth of their survival so many years ago. This series has everything. It's a survival epic, a psychological horror, a coming-of-age drama. There's some supernatural occult vibes going on. It will literally keep you guessing. The minute I started the show, I knew it was going to be a hit. With its stellar ensemble cast, gruesome effects, and fan theory prompting storylines, Yellowjackets is a cannot-miss show. The casting alone is inspired. You have Sophie Nélisse and Melanie Lynskey tackling the teenage and adult Shauna, who's struggling with a reckless daughter and an uninterested husband. Jasmine Savoy Brown and Tawny Cypress as Thaisa, a politician running for New Jersey State Senate. Sophie Thatcher and Juliette Lewis as Nat, who struggles with sobriety. And Sammy Hanratty and Christina Ricci as Misty, a manipulative nurse. Some other standouts are Ella Purnell as Jackie, who is the Golden Girl. She's the team captain of the Yellowjackets. Liv Hewson as Van, who's Thaisa's first love. And Courtney Eaton as Lottie, who we're still unsure, is she struggling with schizophrenia, or is she having real visions that will have her become a future leader of a wilderness cult? And if you're interested, you can even check out the interview I did with Steven Kruger right here. He plays Coach Ben. There are a lot of mysteries that are set up in this first season. Who was eaten in that pilot? Who is the Antler Queen? Who killed Travis? How did Jackie really die? Who's blackmailing the Yellowjackets? And did anyone else make it out of the wilderness alive? Just because we're focused on these four main characters doesn't mean that other people did not survive the wilderness, as we learn in this final episode. The pilot episode of Yellowjackets starts off with these cannibalistic clans, and so it really sets this stage that anything could happen. The stakes are really high. So it makes sense for Shauna's lover to potentially be a blackmailer, or for Travis to be murdered. I mean, look at the trauma that they've dealt with in the past, right? But, as Shauna says in this final episode, what if the truth is that they're all just fucked up in the head from everything that's happened to them? And I think overall the show has really leaned into that, expertly weaving between the realistic and the over-the-top. And I think seeing them go down more simplistic or realistic journeys when it comes to some of these big questions actually makes the show even more shocking, because you're expecting it to go to these really crazy places when really there's a simple explanation for what's going on. It turns out Shauna's lover wasn't really the blackmailer. It turns out that Jackie wasn't eaten by the girls, and that's why they're all so guilty. No, Shauna and Jackie had a big fight. Jackie stayed outside of the cabin and froze to death. And sometimes the reality is maybe just as bad as what you've been envisioning and imagining and theorizing, because it's oh man, this is maybe something that could have been prevented. This was an honest mistake that now all of these young women have to deal with the guilt of. But then there are some moments where things might really be as dark as they seem. What in the world is going on with this secret shrine that Thaisa's been hiding? It's terrifying. Is Lottie alive and leading this killer cult that has a connection to this stick figure drawing that we've been seeing all season? It really makes you question everything, and they have now opened up even more mysteries for us to explore in season 2. If you're looking for a show that's going to give you all the answers and wrap them up neatly in a bow, this is not that show. Following this first season, there are still so many questions that we need answers to. Some are simple, some are more complicated, but each one is leaving us hungry to know more, and I think that's the appeal of Yellowjackets, is that they give you enough answers to have you coming back for more. Lucky for us, Yellowjackets has been picked up for a second season, promising another thrilling season with a lot more mystery and theories to explore and dive into. And I'm so glad that people are finding this show, because as much as when I had first seen the first few episodes, I was like, this is a winner, people are going to love this, I was also a little bit worried because this is not on a streaming platform. This is not a show that's necessarily easy to watch. It's on Showtime, a premium network. I kept thinking, are people going to find this show? And I'm so glad that through the sheer talent and incredible storytelling and word of mouth, people are watching it. Because I think now, especially with shows airing on broadcast television, it can be hard to stand out in a way where like people are going to watch every single week, and I think this is definitely a show that has managed to do that, and I'm so happy for the cast and the crew and everyone that put the work together, because it clearly worked in their favor and people are loving it, and it's getting a lot of acclaim, and I think it's super well deserved. I cannot wait for season 2. Now I want to hear from you. If you haven't watched Yellowjackets yet, please make sure to get on it because it's so good, and if you have watched it, I want to know all your theories, your thoughts. What are you excited for going into season 2? Make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know. Consider subscribing if you like my videos, and if you want to talk more TV and movies with me outside of the comments section, check out the exclusive Discord available on my Patreon at patreon.com/kmaldo. If you like this one, you can check out more of my videos right over here. See ya!